Hello. Um, so this is 2:30 Kiev time. I wanted to start off first of all because I have a lot of people who are worried, and I love you guys all for it. I really appreciate it. Usually, the two pieces of advice people give me are you should leave for Poland, or you should go into a bomb shelter. And I just wanted to explain this to you guys because I know you're worried and you're thinking, okay, I can do these things better, sorry, which is always natural. And I don't know if it's right. I was just talking to a friend of mine. I have a lot of friends who stayed in Kiev, some have left. And we were talking about this, we were laughing because it was very funny that, like, all of us who have lived through this situation have chosen different things, but no one tells the other person what to do because you've got to understand there's no right answer here, right? There's statistics and there's odds, and if you're wrong, then you know. But it's always about balancing them. Now I'm going to explain to you why I decided not to leave. If I could have left the first day at 6 o'clock in the morning with Tonia and our cat Sunny, my daughter, and in a car, then that would have been the best choice. But of course, I actually slept until 9, and I have no car. And since then, the roads have gotten worse and worse. Like, even on the first day, it was about 14 hours to get from here to like a city that's normally 2 hours away. That was day one. This is day three. Um, Yesterday, a friend of mine, she just drove her car. She finally, her parents needed help. She got into her car. She drove, heading towards Poland, and she was telling me she's right on the side of the roads are Russian tanks, and she could see more Russian tanks coming. Now, she was not stopped by the Russian tanks, but of course, what you have to understand is if those Russian tanks are there, that would mean the Ukrainian forces will be aiming at those Russian tanks. And can you imagine if your car was beside a tank that a missile was about to hit? Those missiles, by the way, aim at heat signatures. You don't even have to be hit, right? And of course, even if you don't get hit, the road is done. What are you going to do now? Now you're stuck in the middle of the Ukrainian countryside, where nowhere to go, in the middle of a war. Another reason why I haven't left is because, of course, also those roads, some of them are very close to military bases. Now, you don't know where the military bases are in any of your countries. I want you to think of your country and think about if you know of any where geographically the military bases are close to you, right? Now, for me to go from Kiev to Poland or anywhere outside, right, that's not Belarus, which is clearly why I wouldn't go to Belarus. It would take at least, I believe, 7 to 8 hours driving minimum on a good day. Think of all of the military bases that could be struck, the Russian jets going by, everything else like this. So statistically, and I talked to a lot of military people to make this decision. It wasn't just my decision as some idiot from Canada. I talked to a lot of military buddies I've known for many years, and they said, yeah, usually the best thing is you stay in the city, you stay in home during a war. Now, the other choice, of course, is the plane. There's no planes, so that solves that problem. The third choice, of course, is the train. If you get a chance, I would recommend you go watch the videos of people trying to get on the train at the station in Kiev, and the security guards firing warning shots into the air because everyone is trying to get on these trains to get out. Of course, those trains also are on train tracks, and those train tracks also carry Ukrainian military equipment on it. I don't really want to find out also what it would be like if those train tracks are destroyed by the Russian army, right? What's it like to be on a train, to be stuck in the middle of the countryside with my daughter and the cat, right? You see what I'm saying, right? There are other reasons, personal reasons, and I don't want to get into them. And I'm sorry, some of you know, and if you don't, it's not that I don't love you and stuff, but there's some private reasons, and I don't want to get into them. But there are reasons also. The other thing is people telling me to go to a bomb shelter. Now, this building, if you see it, right? You see these? These buildings were built 100 years ago Now, if you remember what happened 100 years ago, 100 years ago was 1920, right? They built these buildings to withstand wars, right? To withstand wars. It is concrete, which is about 80 centimeters thick, right? And of course, this is just my living room. Me and Tonia's bedrooms are in the back between four separate walls. Behind our bedrooms is a hill that goes straight up, right? And we are on the ground floor. This is a very low building. It's not a high rise. It's a low building, ground floor, multiple meter thick walls between us that were built to withstand mortar fire. I don't know if there's a bomb shelter better than our walls. Right now, of course, we could go into the metro systems, but we can do that. It takes us literally 2 minutes to get into the deepest metro system in the world that was there to withstand nuclear bombs. Now, if you ask me why don't I go now, well, of course, there's thousands of people in those metro places. There's very few toilets. There's no food. There's no heating. Right? There's no internet connection. There's no nothing. Right? So what we can do is if the bombing begins, right, in about 2 minutes, we can run out and get his thing. Now, of course, also my military buddies and Vitaly Klitschko, who's one of the people responsible for the defense of Kiev, has told us not to do that. He has told all of the citizens, you stay at home, and you stay at home even if anything happens, right? Do not move out of the house. Right? Now, what you've got to remember too, and I know you guys are very worried, there's been 100 civilians who have been killed in Kiev so far in 3 days. Now, that sounds like a lot, I know, but if you think about it, when we had COVID 6 months ago, there was days in Kiev where 100 people died of COVID, right? Or if you think about it, Ukrainians are terrible drivers in Kiev. There's probably 3 days in a row in Kiev where 100 people died on car crashes. It's not a good thing. I'm just simply saying there's a perspective here, and there's reasons for it. And I don't know if my choice is right. I have an Italian buddy of mine who just left. He just left a couple days ago. He's in a little village outside of Kiev, but of course he can literally watch the tanks go by. I'm not sure if that's the right choice, but that's his choice. Like I said, neither of us says you got the wrong choice because it's first of all, it's our families. And the other thing is there is no right choice here, okay? So I just wanted to send this because I know a lot of you guys are very concerned, and of course you have ideas of what we should be doing, and this is my idea and this is where I see it. I think it's pretty good reasons for it. We've got something like 16 liters of water in our apartment. Right? There's nowhere else I can get 16 liters of water. Now, speaking of what's happening today in Ukraine, it's been very quiet. I haven't heard any air sirens. I'm not sure if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Like I said yesterday, my friend was saying she saw the Russian tanks outside. Apparently, there's been only one city in all of Ukraine who's actually been taken by the Russians, which is very surprising because the city of Mariupol is in the Donbass region, and he has wanted that for a very long time because he said he only wants Donbass and Lugansk, right? So as long as Mariupol holds, he is not getting what he wants, which is interesting because we don't know. I think the Ukrainians have been much more effective than he imagined, and we have been fighting very strongly. If you watch the videos of our president, no one liked Zelensky before this, but everyone will love Zelensky after this. Slava Ukraine, Zelensky. I hope he stays alive. That's a hero. Okay. So anyways, like I said, it's quiet. Apparently there's a curfew after 5 o'clock tonight. So I can't leave the apartment. But I was telling my daughter, she was very concerned. I said, why would I leave the apartment after 5 o'clock? Can you imagine the Ukrainian soldiers asked me a question in Ukrainian, and I said, they're looking for Russian spies. I'm like, not sure if I have it fast enough to get my Canadian passport out before they shot me. So no, I'm not leaving the apartment. I wasn't planning on it anyways, but they've done a curfew after 5. If you hear in the news why, they'll say whatever. The reason why is because there are Russian soldiers, and what they are doing is they are switching their uniforms and pretending to be Ukrainian soldiers so that they can enter Kiev and go hunting for people like Vitaly Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko, and Zelensky, or just to blow shit up and stuff like this. This is, I think, what happened last night. There was a lot of chaos, but we are holding in Kiev. We are holding, and yeah, that's it for today. Like I said, they were saying the water's down, the electricity might be down. I'm not sure if I'll see you guys again for a little while, but I'll try to keep you posted if it's still working. And thanks for everything. Thanks for your wishes. It's great to hear from all of you. It really means a lot to all of us that so many people around the world care for us. So thank you very much. Slava Ukraine.